Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Nerd Mode. This being a show where I introduce you to series that you may or may not be familiar with. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the Netflix original series Iron Fist. Like always, this isn't a review, it's just me talking about a series that I really like that I recommend you check out for yourself. Iron Fist is an action supernatural crime drama about Danny Rand, a young man who is believed to have died 15 years ago along with his parents when their plane crashed. After spending those 15 years training in a monastery in a land called Kunlun, he returns home but doesn't find the life that he was expecting to. The life that he expected to just kind of pick right back up where he left. While struggling with his return home, he joins forces with Colleen and Claire as they cross paths with the Hand. Caught between his identity as Danny Rand and his identity as Iron Fist, will he have to sacrifice one for the other? The series does a very good job of exploring the aspect of Danny being divided. One side being the man who wants to get back the life he had, dealing with the people he considers the only family he has left in the world, the Meachums, that being Ward and Joy and the whole thing around Harold. Having to even fight against him when it comes to claiming what is rightfully his, Rand Industries, his family's business, having to reclaim his name just to prove that he really is Danny Rand. For him, it's not even about the money. For him, it's his name. It's the only part of himself, the only part of Danny Rand he has left. And then there's the other side of Danny, the one holding all of his responsibilities as the Iron Fist, his duty to protect Kunlun as well as crush the Hand, being pulled in both directions at the same time. An interesting thing along those same lines is why Danny actually became the Iron Fist in the first place. For him, it wasn't even for the sake of duty or even for the sake of glory. He had his own reasons for wanting it. It's actually kind of sad why he wanted the Iron Fist. Selfish, but still sad. And another interesting thing about this series too is Danny's whole struggle with his temper. While I'm not that familiar with Iron Fist in general, there is one version of the character that I became somewhat familiar with, and this version is very different from that version. Not that that's a bad thing, it's just an interesting take on the character. It's just an interesting thing to see him kind of struggling to keep his anger in check throughout the season. I mean, along those same lines, it's interesting too because that's what the monks at Kunlun trained them to do, to bury their emotions. So far in the series, they have shown and talked a little bit about his time and things he experienced in Kunlun. There are even aspects of his life in Kunlun that kind of follow him back to New York. Obviously, I won't get too deep into that because of spoiler reasons, but I'd be very interested to see them kind of dive a little deeper into Kunlun going forward, show us a little bit more, show us more of his time there. Another interesting thing about this series is Colleen's story. Now, obviously, I won't get into spoilers, but it takes a very interesting twist that I didn't see coming. What was once so clear to her, what she thought she knew, now left her not so clear, and I'll just kind of leave it at that. But like I said, it's so interesting, and I'm also curious to see like what kind of effects that might have in the future. It seems like said twist might be dealt with, but I'm not 100% sure. There's always a possibility of it coming back in the future in some shape or form. So it kind of has come up again, you know, in the Defenders. So whether it'll pop up beyond that, once again, I don't know. I brought up this series, The Defenders. Iron Fist's story continued into Netflix's other series, The Defenders, which if you have not seen it, I highly recommend you check it out. It's really good, but that's just my opinion. So Iron Fist has been renewed for a second season. At the time of me recording this, no official date has been dropped yet. With the way the schedule has been so far, I'd assume sometime maybe mid-2019 as a possible release date, but that's just me making a guess at this point in time. But really, that's all I want to talk about in this video. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.